This is kind of a two-man approach. We're trying to find the most active wing dams. The river's littered with them. So what we're doing is we're casting a Spro RkCrawler. It's kind of a fat-sided crankbait. I've got Sid with me today, and we're just gonna try to go wing dam to wing dam to wing dam to try to find the most active ones. A lot of times, this is the best way to find, the fish the fastest. What we're doing is we're using a bass-style bait, walleye fishing. And it's getting more and more popular all the time, being that it is truly a bass bait versus a walleye bait, but obviously the crossover has been awesome and more people are using those kinds of baits. Mark Kortz won the tournament in Prairie du Chien this year, and he was obviously using willow cats, and he was casting a fat-sided or a bass-style crankbait like this. Basically on this dam, depending on, where I'm at in the river, I'll try to start on one end or the other. I'd start on the inside. I'm gonna work the face of this dam all the way out to the tip, try to work the tip a little bit. And if I see anything or catch a fish, I might hit it twice. I might go back and forth twice, 3 times, just depending on, what I see and how it feels and how it fishes.
I feel like this bait's down there hunting, digging in the rocks, doing what it should be doing. I feel like that's when you're more than likely going to get bit, is when these fish kind of, when it deflects off of something and you hit it and it goes a different direction or something like that. You're trying to get kind of more of a reaction bite out of these fish. And, being a bass guy myself, this is a little more comfortable way for me to fish for something like walleyes. Just coming up here, being from, Georgia, coming up here and doing this reminds me of fishing back home, fishing riprap or fishing something like that. You're just kind of bouncing the crankbait down the edge of this wing dam, and shoot, we're gonna see if we can't get something to bite.
The last couple of years, people have been throwing these, these bigger, fatter baits, and they seem to be a little bit more effective. Must have something to do with the way they move the water differently, or the way they react in the current versus the skinnier shad wraps and flicker shads and things like that. But I think the wide wobble or the roll is obviously a little bit different too, which obviously has something to do with it. They've just been really successful. I'm using a 7.5 foot medium rod, 12-pound braid. I do tie a uni knot to 10-12 inches of fluorocarbon to a crankbait snap. It's basically how I set this up. I don't tie the bait direct to the braid. Some guys do, I just prefer not to. I like to have the fluorocarbon on there for the abrasion resistance on the rock. Walleye guys are spinning rod guys versus bass guys, but you could use a bait caster. If this was something that I would do all day, if I was gonna just plan to do this all day, I would probably throw it on a bait caster. It's a little bit less fatiguing than a spinning rod. I'm more comfortable with a spinning rod because I can really make a pinpoint cast with it versus a bait caster. In the walleye world, we don't cast half as much as bass guys. We do a lot of trolling and jigging and different things like that. So, we just don't have as many bait casters in our arsenal, but this program, this technique would be perfect for a bait casting combination.